What's up, Olympia? Today we're talking about the January 27th, 2026 Olympia City Council meeting, and the community really showed up for this one.
Yeah, full council chambers. This is Council in 10.
For the record, I'm Susan Grisham.
And I'm Josh Lynn.
At the top of the meeting, Mayor Payne shared two announcements. The first related to everything that's been happening in Minnesota and efforts underway to protect the community here in Olympia.
Yeah, and we understand the gravity of the moment and that this is really front of mind for a lot of our community. So we're going to break with tradition, something we've never done here. We're going to pause us for a second and just play the entire clip of that statement because we think it's important for everyone to hear.
Yeah.
So first, I just want to express that we are heartbroken and angry about the recent killings of Alex Preddy at the hands of ICE federal agents just a couple weeks after the shooting and killing of Renee Good. Unfortunately, many others have died as well as the result of this presidential administration's inhumane approach with immigration enforcement. No family should lose a loved one this way, and no community should have to live in fear of the people who are supposed to uphold the law. What we are seeing right now is deeply disturbing, and it demands accountability, transparency, and leadership from every level of government. So prior to this event this weekend, I've been working with County Commissioner Carolina Mejia to hold a meeting to coordinate with elected officials and our staff throughout the county. Local leaders need to be on the same page, prepared, and clear about how we protect our residents and our public employees when federal actions put our community members at risk. So just a few topics that we're hoping to cover in this meeting include Immigration 101, to ensure that a shared understanding of our immigration system, responsibilities and limitations across our jurisdictions, interjurisdictional coordination, including communication pathways between cities, schools, local law enforcement, and county departments. Lessons observed in other jurisdictions, including obstructions of emergency response, arrest, or detention of public employees, and impacts to service delivery. Planning for scenarios involving external federal actions with a focus on how local governments respond collectively and lawfully. Situational awareness, reporting, and employee support protocols should an incident occur. City staff are also preparing additional information to our city residents, encouraging you to prioritize your safety. If you see what appears to be an altercation or a detention by a federal agent, please be safe, call 911, and Olympia police officers will respond to the scene and handle any necessary questioning. As a sanctuary city, our officers are prohibited from assisting ICE in any of their efforts to detain anyone in our community. Olympia Police will ensure that there are legitimate agents on the scene. They have warrants verified and maintain order for our community members. Our officers will also remain on the scene to record with their body cameras. You are also permitted to record an incident from a safe distance in a public space without physically intervening. The safety of everyone in our community remains our top priority. We also have signed on to an amicus brief at the city that is led by the City of Boston and the Public Rights Project, along with several of the nation's cities, counties, and other communities to argue that the deadly surge of federal agents into Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota is an unlawful and unconstitutional effort to punish these communities and endanger Americans. I am supportive of Governor Ferguson's and the Attorney General Brown's proposed actions to prepare for the worst should the federal government increase its presence here in Thurston County. Our community deserves to feel safe, respected, and heard. And these actions are steps within our local control toward building the knowledge, coordination, and accountability needed to serve and protect everyone.
A powerful message from the mayor, safe, respected, and heard.
Yeah, absolutely. The mayor then made another announcement. This was related to comments he made at the State of the City.
Yes.
I think January 14th, that there was some confusion around, so really clarifying that. He was talking about starting to make a plan to close Olympia's last encampment.
Yes.
I think some people heard that as we're doing it now. No, this is just the beginning. There's going to be a long, thoughtful process with all of our partners and other
Yeah.
jurisdictions.
Yeah, he emphasized that there are no decisions or timelines or
Yep.
anything set right now. It's really about starting the collaboration between the residents, our regional partners, nonprofits, and service providers to get that planning underway.
Yeah, I think they said at least 18 to 24 months before anything even happens. So it's a
Yeah.
long way off. We're going to do it the Olympia way, as we
Exactly.
always do. I'd encourage you, if you're interested in what that Olympia way is, go listen to the last podcast we did about encampments. They really get into our approach, how it's different, how it's really working. So good information in there. Also on Only TV3.
Yeah, more to come on that. Next, the City Council considered a resolution to formally express its collective support of Olympia School District's Proposition 1, which is a technology and capital projects replacement levy. So the state law requires that this type of action needs to occur in an open public meeting with an opportunity for public comment. So we had several community members testify, and the resolution was approved unanimously by the council.
So then we got into public comment, and as you mentioned at the top, full chambers. Really exciting to see a lot of people coming out to participate.
not an
It's been
empty
a while.
seat in the house.
No, yeah. And those public comments really fell into three buckets.
Yes.
People wanted to talk about the encampment, talking about closing the jungle, very topical. Talking about the park's naming, which
Yes.
we're going to talk about in just a second, and then a group of self-proclaimed tree
Yes.
huggers coming to talk about updating a tree ordinance, which I think we're going to hear about later in the year.
Yeah, to protect legacy trees in
Yeah,
the community. so.
absolutely. People love their trees here.
They do.
The consent calendar was approved, and then we got into other business.
Yes, so we had only one other business item, and that was related to the renaming of several parks properties in Olympia. So parks staff reviewed the proposed names for 3 Olympia properties following a public process and committee review. So first is the Armory. So it was recommended to be named the Daly Arts Center. And so that's honoring our former mayor and council member Bill Daly for his leadership in advancing Olympia's arts community. From what I understand, he started the Arts Commission, but even more than that, he helped start our farmers market. He was involved in Percival Landing, so his fingerprints are all over Olympia.
Absolutely.
And then Yelm Highway Community Park. So it was recommended it be named after Jolene Unsold. And so she is a former state legislator, a U.S. Congresswoman, and she had really big contributions to public transparency, environmental legislation, and just a monster of civic service.
Yeah.
Just really left her mark on our community. And then we moved on to Kaiser Woods Park. And so that would be named for Marge Young. She is a former Thurston County Commissioner. And she worked in public safety, planning, parks advocacy, and environmental education. So 3 real leaders in our community
Yeah,
being
really
honored.
impactful.
Really impactful. And the audience was filled with friends, family members. It was really kind of moving.
Yeah, I mentioned during public comment, the line of people coming out to talk about them, real heavy hitters, really like personal stories. Councilmember Brandt had stories and relationships with all of them, so it was really cool to see these people being honored.
Yeah, it was really nice. So the names were recommended by the Community Livability and Public Safety Committee, which is comprised of some council members. And there was public input and testimony, and there was really strong support. And the council approved the naming unanimously.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So new names coming soon. New
Yeah.
names, new signs.
Yeah, pretty neat.
Things are happening.
And then the council reported on some meetings and events attended, and so did the city manager, and then the meeting adjourned at 8:50 p.m.
Boom.
Boom. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching us live, you can stay tuned for the full replay of the council meeting we just discussed, or you can watch it and any other of our programming on demand anytime at olytv3.com.
Yep, download the Only TV app, see us, see our podcast, see all the stuff we're making.
Yeah, a lot of good content out there to learn about how the city is
Yeah.
running
and more to come.
And more to come, definitely. So if you want to watch a council meeting live and in person, we're here most Tuesdays at 6 p.m. and we'll save a seat for you.
And with that,
We're adjourned.
we're adjourned.